When it comes to growing food, my main strategy this year has been to divide the work into small and easy to accomplish tasks, taking one small step at a time in order to not get overwhelmed by everything that needs doing. On this day, I decided it was time to work on the greenhouse a little. With the cooler weather, weeds had started to grow again and summer plants were ready to be taken out as well. So I cleaned up the middle bed, where I had already planted beets and turnip greens a few weeks prior. Then I took out the basil plants from the summer and replaced them with fava beans that will feed us come spring. I'm sure this is a very common sight for those of you who live around toddlers. We are not different, but lucky for us we have chickens who will gladly help us with this problem. These big leaves are from our perennial kale, and as you can see, the chickens go wild for them. Even though it was a little late in the season, I was still able to find some good quince on the trees and decided to make a favorite of our daughter, marmalade. This traditional Portuguese spread is made from quince cooked down with sugar and is definitely worth making. Because I used less sugar than the traditional recipe, I decided to be safe instead of sorry and put them in a water bath to seal the jars. This year I've grown and preserved more food than ever. While I love gardening, growing food and preserving the harvest, I also try to be realistic about my expectations. Everyone has different priorities, needs and abilities, and I am no different. I simply cannot do it all. Even after doubling my growing space this year, I doubt that I can grow all the vegetables we eat as a family. For example, I would need to grow a lot more tomatoes to fulfill all my tomato sauce desires, and with our clay soil, I struggle growing carrots. Sure, I'll strive to get to the point of growing most of our fruit and vegetable needs, but realistically I can only do that once the kids need less hands-on attention. And more practically, when I have more pantry space to store things. I have to consider balancing many parts of our life with how much we can become self-reliant. And this is not a bad thing. We need to remember that in no time in history has all this work been put on the shoulders of just a nuclear family. Family farms were always run with extended family, sharing the farm and housework as well as child rearing. Grandparents would watch the children, siblings and cousins would work the fields together. And on top of that, there was a larger community to fall back on in times of need. So to say that we are going back to how our ancestors lived is at best naive. And I don't want to give a moral judgment on our situation. It is not good or bad, it is just reality. We have lost some things and gained others, but it does mean that we need to adapt to the current set of cards we are dealt. But what I do know is that the current myth of self-sufficiency parroted on the internet is highly unrealistic for most people, and much too individualistic to work in the long run. So, in case you needed to hear this, you are not a failure for not being completely self-sufficient. You are merely one person trying to do the work of 10 people. So cut yourself some slack. As we're into December now, it is very much planting season for perennials as well. I am sitting in the perennial bed right now that we built 2 years ago. It's been kind of partially because I forget to water it and then the things don't get enough water and then they struggle. So that's kind of a shame. So I'm very much considering putting things on a timer. And then the other thing is that we just planted a bunch and wanted to see what would stick. Raspberries here have not been super successful. So I decided, or I was at the agricultural shop and I decided to plant some blackberries here, or buy some blackberries and plant them here. Was it an impulse buy? I don't know. So we're gonna plant these thornless blackberries here and hope they do better than the raspberries. If you're wondering, yes, we did put down cardboard and pine bark, but the grass does not care and it's just going through everything we put down, which is also annoying. Hello, Louis. Hola. And then the other thing that I'm gonna plant are these bulbs. It's a big 2 kilo bag that I just bought at Lidl, another impulse buy. But I did really want to start working on some more beauty in this area. So I think a bunch of flowers would be really nice. Die gaan we planten, Bo. Ga je mij helpen? Alright, let me get some water to put those blackberries in and then we'll get started.
Nee, we moeten blijven goed planten.
So I'm really excited about this. I made a little border here on the perennial bed with the narcissus, and then I had some left over, so I just put them on 2 more spots in some strawberry beds where one of the plants had died. So I'm really excited for these flowers to start popping up in the spring. Should give a really nice pop of color. Before we continue, I want to quickly mention that you can now buy our olive oil on our website, the link for which you can find in the description box. And it comes this year, we have it in 1/2 liter and 250 milliliters, so 1/4 liter. Look how cute this is. So cute. So this is a more practical size if you use olive oil. This is more of a gift size, which I think is just the cutest little Christmas present. These, in case you're wondering, it's our brand Hortavellia, and it's our olive oil, and it comes with this handy screw lid. We use tin because it's the best way to recycle and ship, and just in general to keep your olive oil in. So if you want to order some of these, go to the link in the description box to our website hortavellia.com and you can order some.
Ja. Kom maar.
Ja, mag de camera nemen?
Ja, die moet echt daar staan.
Hallo. Ik ga er kijken. Hallo. Hallo. Ik dacht. Hallo. Ja, ik heb het tuinmateriaal. Hier zo.
Moet hij daarin?
Oh, oké.
Hey, mama. Meer nagels.
Ja, daar hebben we ook nog. Daar. Laten we deze eruit halen. Moeten we er nieuwe bij planten, joh.
Oei. Oh, kijk eens. Oh, nee. Nee. Nou. Oh, nee.
Ja, dat is even de kippen.
Mag papa hard maken? Nee.
A new favorite in this house is stuffed cabbage in a red wine and tomato sauce. Even though they got attacked by caterpillars, these leafy cabbages did very well for me this fall. Not really knowing what to do with them other than put them in soup, I started experimenting. This was the result, inspired by cabbage rolls made in lots of different countries. The red wine and tomato sauce with lots of herbs brings this dish home for me.
Watching you was such a thrill. All that I could do was laugh. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. We were running on that open shore. No saddle on his back. Dancing like a maniac.
Good.
Then we raced each other to the room. All that I could do was laugh. All that I could hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back.
After the big olive harvest, we still had some olives on the trees, so I decided to pick some more for eating. I was a little late for this, as some were starting to go bad on the tree already, but I was still able to fill another jar of olives to enjoy next year. 10 days of changing the water every day, I put these olives into the same kind of brine as the ones you saw last video. One piece of the puzzle that we will not be self-sufficient in, probably ever, is firewood. Even though our property is over 3 hectares, we are not able to grow enough suitable trees for firewood. About half of the land is cultivated with olive trees and gardens, and the other half is native oak forest. These trees are illegal to cut down, which we don't want to do anyway, because then we would lose our beautiful forest. So for now we buy firewood to supplement the wood that we are able to source from our land.
It's the nicest stack of firewood I've ever. Kun je mama helpen met het hout?
Ja, dat zoek je op de lamp.
Ja.
Goed zo, Bo.
Maar ik heb...
Geef maar.
Okay, it's very cold today, overcast, I'm freezing, which is the perfect weather for stew. In the winter I love to make stews and soups and things, even though I know the Portuguese also eat soup in summer. Our doctor once told me that soup is the best thing that the Portuguese ever invented. Anyway, so today we're making a lentil stew and I'll show you how I make that. While that is bubbling away, I want to do something else. I saw this little video on how to make a Korean syrup. It's called chung, and it looked really interesting and very easy, so I'm gonna do that. What made it extra easy is that you just slice up a citrus, some sort of fruit. The guy also did it with apples, and you just mix it one-on-one with sugar. So you make layers, sugar, fruit, and then the sugar will absorb all the flavors from the fruit. I got these from a friend because our trees are not ready yet. So I'm gonna try that. Very exciting. Is it very exciting? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, this 1 kilo of oranges and clementines together with almost a kilo of sugar fit perfectly into this jar, so that's great. You're already seeing the juice starting to mix with the sugar. Now we just wait for a couple weeks, I think, and then it should be ready.
Okay, it's a super cloudy day today, so it's the perfect time to talk about our solar setup and specifically about our battery. It's been 2 months since we have installed our EP500pro from Bluetti. This robust solar generator boasts a massive 5100 watt-hour capacity, providing reliable power for your off-grid lifestyle. It comes with a 3000 watt inverter and multiple AC outlets and DC ports and even high-speed USB charging. So you can charge all your essential appliances, charge electronics, and keep your off-grid oasis fully powered. We've had both our dishwasher and washing machine running at the same time, and we were not worried about it overwhelming the system, because the system can not only take a 3000 watts continuous, it can also take a 6000 watt peak. So that allows for, if both motors of the two appliances run exactly at the same time or start up at the same time, that they don't overwhelm the system with their starting requirements or draw. The lithium iron phosphate batteries have 4 characteristics that make them better and suitable and super suitable for our needs. The first of all, we have safety. That's always number one. These batteries are not known to blow up or catch on fire like you see with other lithium ion batteries. Even under heavy load, like you run continuously 2000 watts or 3000 watts on it, they remain relatively cool. And so they can never reach that point where they can start their own reaction and things like that. So that's a huge benefit to us in a place where in summer you only have to do this and everything starts to catch on fire. The huge weight lifted off our shoulders there. And then the next thing is the life cycle of this thing. I personally hate having to replace things every year. And unfortunately with the lead acid batteries we had to do that, because they are only rated for 400 cycles compared to the 3500 cycles of the lithium iron phosphate batteries. And in that time you can only use with lead acid only 20% of the battery to keep it above 80%, otherwise you start really damaging them. And with the lithium iron phosphate ones you can use the entire charge, so you can use it from 100% to 0% and you don't damage the battery at all. So that's the life cycle compared to lead acid, but even if you compare it to other lithium ion batteries like the nickel, magnesium, cobalt batteries that are used all over, in your phones for instance, they only have like 900 cycles, and so that's 3 years, and yeah, these should last 10. The next thing that is very important to us is the stability. We have computers running, and the camera has to load, and yeah, nothing is worse than having your equipment being destroyed by your power output. And the Bluetti, but in general lithium iron phosphate batteries, they have a very stable output, so the voltage throughout the percentage range or the capacity range always remains super stable. So that's a huge advantage. And the other last advantage is the environmental, or yeah, the ecological impact of these batteries. They are made from readily available metals, so lithium is very readily available, and iron is even more readily available, and phosphates can be found pretty much anywhere. So they are not conflict metals like you have with cobalt or nickel. So yeah, that's a huge improvement and a benefit to us. All right, so nothing comes for free, and in this case all the benefits to lithium iron phosphates have to have a cost at some other place. In this case it's the weight and the size, so energy density in other words, of lithium iron phosphate batteries is lower than the nickel, magnesium, cobalt batteries, which means that the batteries are overall heavier and bigger for the same capacity. So yeah, in certain cases that would make you not want to use these batteries, but in our case, in our use case as a home battery, or yeah, a home battery, it doesn't really matter how heavy it is. Yeah, it's fine. You can still lift this, and it's still mobile. It is on wheels, so you can roll it around in most cases. But two healthy adults can lift it fairly easily. Yeah, that's the price you have to pay, but it's a price that we're willing to pay in that case, because yeah, most use cases are not mobile and are static, and so this battery is amazing. And for all the other things, you can take the smaller batteries that Bluetti also sells. So if you want to buy this one and you feel interested in buying this, you can use the coupon code in the description. It's Bluetti Lea, and you get a 5% off discount at Bluetti.
Thank you so much to Bluetti for working with us on this video. We really love their products, and if you want to go check them out, there's a link in the description box. There are lots of holiday sales going on right now, so you can really get a good deal on a power system for your home. That's it for this video. In case you are wondering, yes, we're still waiting on building materials to arrive, which is why we haven't shown more building progress, but hopefully more on that next time.